3 minutes to the gentleman from East Tennessee, Dr. Rowe.
Gentleman is recognized for 3 minutes.
I thank the gentleman for yielding. Madam Chair, I rise in opposition to H.R. 3221. What we're doing here today is using our country's financial crisis as an excuse to eliminate an industry that has proved more popular and at least as well run, if not more so, than its government counterpart. And I might add, my son just used this program for his own education. A unified Democratic majority in the House, Senate, and White House created the Direct Loan Program in 1993. Back then, many Republicans were skeptical that Democrats' intention was to simply, quote, unquote, introduce competition and keep private lenders honest. In what is literally their first opportunity since then, with a unified majority, they are proving Republican suspicions correct. By comparisons to our health care debate are obvious and too strong to ignore. In the debate we're having on health care, our friends on the other side of the aisle are making the case that we need government and private industry to compete to provide consumers the best choice. So it's astonishing that we're considering a bill that eliminates the federal family education loan program, which consumers are choosing by nearly 3-to-1 margin over its government-run direct loan alternative. So much for competition. But what's worse in this legislation, it may increase the deficit even more. If we use the CBO's generous assumptions, this bill will save $13 billion over the first 5 years, but only $7 billion over the next 10. That means in the second 5 years of this bill's scope, the bill will actually cost taxpayers $6 billion in new funding. And this doesn't even begin to address what happens in the second 10 years when the spending doesn't have to be offset. It's just so disingenuous to pass more debt on to future generations while calling our actions fiscally responsible. And that's only if the assumptions are correct. The CBO's estimated that if the default rates run higher than their estimates, the bill could cost taxpayers $33 billion more in 10 years. The spending would be less troubling if it weren't mandatory spending, which means it goes on autopilot and is never reviewed by Congress for effectiveness and never has to comply with annual budgets. The most disappointing aspect of this whole debate is that there was an obvious bipartisan alternative that achieved 388 votes in the last Congress. The Ensuring Continued Access to Student Loan Act, which ensures private lenders can make it through a tough credit crisis, should be what we're considering here today instead of this partisan approach. Since passing in the last Congress, the program has worked well. We should all be commending Chairman Miller and members of the committee who were last year for a job well done. Instead, the Democrats are once again trying to have the government take over a private industry that is providing a service the American people like. Here's the bottom line in this debate. If you like a multi-billion-dollar programs that have zero oversight from Congress and are on autopilot, vote for this bill. If you like to increase unemployment, you should vote for this bill. If you believe Washington bureaucrats will improve their performance and find ways to become more efficient by eliminating their competition, you should definitely support this bill. But if you feel like we should be seeking common bipartisan ground on the future of our children's education, please join me in this program and vote yes on the Klein Amendment. I yield back.
Gentleman from California.